You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Now, after Ossoff voted early, he then went to Morris Brown College. Remember, we had the president on here talking about them pursuing a reaccreditation. And there, Ossoff talked about the importance of Morris Brown and what he would do for HBCUs if he is elected United States Senator. Here is some of that discussion.
I want to point out it's been 8 months since the U.S. Senate passed any direct stimulus payments for the American people, and they've decided after 8 months of obstruction they're going to send $600. Well, for folks who are unable to make the rent, can't make the car payment, can't afford the prescriptions, behind on the bills, $600 is a joke. And the truth of the matter is that they don't care about regular people. If the most powerful investment banks in the country, stock valuations started plummeting overnight, they would jet back to Washington in 4 hours and pass legislation. But when it's ordinary people, when it's corner mechanics, small businesses, they held it up for 8 months and they cut it in half to $600. I would have voted for the bill, but it's a joke. $600? Mm-hmm. So we need to reorient the mindset of our elected officials toward helping regular people, and that has to happen at the ballot box, and the polls are open right now.
Right. There you go.
And let me be clear that President James and I were discussing this back in the spring. We were talking about what Georgia's United States Senate offices can do to help accelerate the process of reaccreditation. Under your leadership, Mr. President, that applications be accepted. They'll be here in January, and it may be as soon as the springtime that Morris Brown will be eligible for those kinds of federal grants. So expanding the Pell Grant program should be non-controversial. When I debated my opponent, I'm not going to get too partisan here at an educational event, but I'll just say this. When I debated my opponent in Savannah, back when he would debate me, and I was arguing for expansion of the Pell Grant program, he denounced that as socialism. Expansion of the Pell Grant program, college affordability. Bishop, have you noticed that there's always money for tax giveaways for wealthy donors? There's always money for bank bailouts. There's always money for war. But then when you start talking about making college affordable for young black people in this country, suddenly the country has no resources. It's about priorities. And Morris Brown and HBCUs must be among the highest priorities for political leaders. It's been too long since political leaders talked about ending poverty in America. We've become, I think, too cynical, unwilling to dream about what's possible. We should not accept that poverty and homelessness are inevitable or necessary in our society. As long as there are poverty and homelessness, we are failing as a people. So we need to once again talk about ending poverty in America, talk about ending homelessness in America. The problem of gentrification in the urban core of this city. And again, I want to observe the discrepancy between the level of public resources invested in entertainment and the level of public resources invested in education. As people are forced out and as black communities are forced out of the center of this city by the rising property taxes, our government's failure to invest in transit, in transportation, and in affordable housing means that people are living far from where they work and can barely put a roof over their heads. And that's why we need an infrastructure and jobs bill as part of a relief effort after COVID-19 that will include investments in transit and transportation and in affordable housing.
I believe that was our last question for our time today. Sir, we want to thank you again for being here today.
Thank you.
You know, just for the media to know, an invitation went out to everyone, and you were the only one that responded. And so we want to thank you for your investment into HBCUs, specifically here at Morris Brown College. Morris Brown is back. We're going to bring this institution back stronger than ever. The only black college in Georgia founded by African Americans, for us, by us, and an institution that is a haven for hungry souls. We don't turn folks away. Anyone who deserves an education, anyone who wants an education, The doors are open here at Morris Brown, and we appreciate your support. As soon as I leave here, I'm headed over to vote. So we encourage the entire community to please vote. And thank you so much again for being here today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just
It's
one.
time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.